Good morning, everybody. This is DearMamaSal on a beautiful I have to think for a minute. What day is it? I think it's Tuesday. On a beautiful Tuesday morning. It's 18 degrees here in southern British Columbia, which would make it, I believe, about 64, translated into American. What day is it, right? You know, one of my biggest fears in life, and I'm certain some of you will relate to that, is, you know, these tests they do to find out whether you've got Alzheimer's or not. And I'm thinking, don't you think they should do a benchmark one? You know, one with the test you sort of round about now to find out what your cognitive function is now. Because I'm pretty sure half the questions they ask I will fail anyway. I probably have failed at them throughout most of my life. And I just wonder whether any of you relate to this one. How many of you, when you get really stressed, your mind goes on vacation? Do any of you suffer from that? If I get threatened, when I say threatened, when I feel that I'm in a threatened state, that's pretty serious for this time of the morning, sir. Anyway, true. When I get myself into what I consider to be a threatened state, it might be somebody's voice tone or somebody's body language, and my mind goes somewhere else. When I say goes somewhere else, but it goes numb. And I wonder how many of you relate to that. I'm pretty sure it's some sort of PTSD thing, but it's amazingly difficult to explain to anybody who doesn't have it. And I can remember once having something happen to me, and it affected me to my core. And it was a very small thing that happened in everybody else's terms. But without a doubt, it triggered me, and it triggered me severely. So everybody's looking at you like you're an idiot. And I'm not. Just somebody pressed the wrong button. And I had no defense against that button. And because I had no defense, I was defenseless, and therefore I shut down. So I just, how on earth did I start that conversation at this time of the morning? Who knows? But it is a big issue for quite a few people. And I don't think it's something that people talk about. So that's probably why I need to talk about it. I obviously am not the only person that has this problem. And I can't believe that is by chance that I started discussing that. Wow. All right, so let's continue discussing it in a different way, and let's try and get some legs on it and discussion on it. I'm trying to think back to, is it the same as the defenselessness you feel when you are a child and you know you have no control, in as much as you have to do what your parents tell you to? It's slightly different, isn't it? However, I think in a way it can be linked. And I know I get enough emails from young people who are in that state to know that it's pretty hardcore. So I guess part of the conversation needs to be what sort of things triggers it for you. And I'm not suggesting you tell us your deep and darkest secrets, because that's not what this is about. This is about, is it a voice tone for you? Is it an action? Is it a betrayal that does it for you? And I say a betrayal, but something perceived as a betrayal. Because a lot of this is perceived stuff. It's not necessarily real stuff. It's how we perceive it. And because we perceive it that way, it is real. And it's very real to a lot of people. And so I look at it and I go, triggers are very important parts of our lives. We need to know what our triggers are. We need to warn people that we get triggered by these things. And then they get to choose whether they want to trigger us or not. Now, the one place, of course, you can't control that necessarily is when you're in a more regular setting. For example, if you're at work, you can't necessarily control it there. Or if, for example, you're at a function, or a party, or something social, and people can trigger you without realizing it. And they shouldn't realize it. So if you get triggered a lot, it's a very important part of your responsibility to get some help with it. Because why would you suffer with that when you don't have to? Now, I understand that some of my viewers are not sitting in a country where you can get help, and others are not sitting in a country where you can get help for free. But most of you, I believe, are sitting in countries where there are probably self-help groups of some sort, be they twelve-step programs or whatever, where you can get the learning without having to pay for the knowledge. The other thing is, I'm a great believer in how lucky we are today to have so much material online. And I think in that we are extremely fortunate. The only thing is we have to make the time to sit and read it or watch it and understand it. For those of you who are supporters of Chloe in England, I did get a message from her yesterday, just while I think about it. And I get a feeling she's not doing too well, quite honestly. But she's, as usual, being incredibly brave. She, over and above all her other problems, got some sort of urinary tract infection as well. And if ever you've had one of those, you know how painful it is. And and I'm talking a serious one, not just a regular one. So she's been in a lot of extra pain, which she obviously didn't need and doesn't need. And they're trying to raise enough money so that she can have this operation. I believe that they've done fairly well, but they are desperate for more money. So if any of you were thinking of supporting her and haven't, this would probably be a good time. And for those of you who are new to the channel, just know that Chloe is an incredibly brave and wonderful viewer from England who has had major stomach surgery. She has a condition that if she moves, she just dislocates her bones. I mean, she can lean down to pick something up and dislocate a few bones. And I cannot imagine how bad that is on its own. And then on top of that, she had this major stomach surgery, and now she's in need of major surgery again. So she's having a really tough time of it. And, the only saving grace, I think, is her attitude. She has the most incredible attitude. For somebody who's living off morphine and other things. Chloe, if you happen to watch this, we're all sending you our thoughts and prayers, honey. And give our love to Amelia Rose and to John. Because I'm going to be away this week, I also realize I'm going to miss at least one birthday. I think that's Lolo's birthday coming up this weekend from Louisiana. And in case I miss it on the day, Lolo, I want you to know, happy birthday. I think it's on the 22nd. I think that's right. But anyway, I want to make sure that I've got it covered. Because you know how busy I'm going to be when I get to Seattle. I wanted to just mention that this whole weekend that's coming up is going to be pretty darn busy. I'm going to be going to work on Thursday, and from work I'm going to immediately get in my car and drive down to the States, and then we will go down. I'll meet up with Benji and Judy, and then we will be traveling down to Seattle. And I'm not sure if Judy is going to be traveling down on Thursday with us or not, but anyway. And then we've got a day of seminars on the Friday, followed by a sort of meet and greet day on Saturday. So it's going to be busy, and I'm not quite sure how much of which I'm going to be able to have time to do. And again, you know, when you're the guest of somebody else, you have to sort of pace yourself to what's going on in their lives and their timetable. So, but it's going to be fun, whatever it is. So for those of you who've always wanted to go, I will try and document some of it just so you can see what it's like and make your decision whether you think it is something you'd like to do. Now, part of it is, which is always embarrassing to me, that I will meet a lot of very well-known YouTubers that I have no knowledge of whatsoever. And so in a way, I feel quite pathetic. But on the other hand, it is who I am, and I'm not going to be embarrassed about being who I am. Well, no more than usual anyway. And I do know that last time, it was quite amazing how many people stood in line for just hours and hours. I mean, people were standing in line for 4 hours just to meet people. And you know, you've got to really admire the dedication of that. And I remember when I was at VidCon, there was one sister, if you remember, that had been in line for 4 hours just so that her sister could get a temporary tattoo of some sort. I mean, when you get to my age, there's no way you can wait in line for 4 hours, period. You know, not unless they happen to bring the washroom to you. So, no, there is no way. But anyway, you have to say that it's an absolute honor, I guess, that people would be prepared to do that. But, you know, give a moment's thought, if you will, to the talent, and I call them talent, that for whom they're waiting, because that talent person has got to smile for 4 hours, because every single person's going to expect them to smile at them, and every single person's going to expect a selfie, and every single person is going to give them, you know, some are going to be inappropriate, some are going to take too much time. So, you know what I mean? It's just like everybody was going to do their thing. So if ever you feel that you're tired waiting, imagine what the talent must feel. I can remember, and I know Benji's talked about it as well. I can remember doing it when I was on tour, where you get to the stage where your whole face is sore from smiling, and you sometimes wonder if your muscles will go back to normal. I found it if I did a full day presentation, you know, literally by the end of a full day presentation, I'm going, you know, will my cheeks ever release that smile? Because you had just smiled so much. And so it was quite funny when I was listening to Benji talk about it not so long ago. He said, you know, there are times, Sal, when I'm really quite sore. And I said, yeah, that would be normal. But I don't know too many people who want a selfie with you not smiling, so, you know, just suck it up and keep doing it. And I must say that Benji and Judy are just so gracious with that adoration of the followers. It's amazing. So gracious. All right, everybody, here's the thing. Have a good day, and two things I'd like you to concentrate on. Be aware of what is triggering you, and it doesn't matter if it's a serious trigger or a minor one. It's really important to know what's triggering you. And it's so easy to say, I don't know. One minute I was feeling fine and the next minute I wasn't. Well, anybody who's done any work on themselves will tell you it is really important to stop saying, I don't know what did it. And start replaying the movie of what happened in the last, 10 minutes or whatever. And start replaying that whole movie until you get to the point where you can feel a change in your body. Find out what it is that triggers you. And then, if you are in any sort of human relationship, and you notice that 1 minute you're doing fine talking to somebody, and the next minute there's been a shift. You can see a change in their body language, hear a change in their tone, the voice tone, whatever. You have obviously at some level triggered them. And I would really encourage you to get curious. Go, wow, did I do something to upset you right there? Now, most people will deny it, by the way. That's just human nature. But try and work out what you were talking about that created that reaction. And also start keeping notes on what triggers. Because you don't want to go triggering somebody intentionally. And if they won't tell you what their triggers are, then it's a good idea for you to start keeping notes and keep track of it, so that you can, wherever possible, stay away from it. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope that you're not triggered in any way today. And if you are, I hope you have the ability to be able to just work your way through it and move on with your day. I'd like to say that we all get triggered to some degree every day, most days. And what happens is, if we don't correct it and get ourselves back to a safe mental state, and then the next person triggers us, you understand that you just get pushed deeper down. And so learning how to recover yourself is a really important part of having a healthy and joyful life, as far as you can. This is DearMamaSal saying, please remember to look after yourself and to look after those around you as much as you can. Life is short. We never know how long we have, and I'm sure that we all would like to spend whatever days we have doing the best we can. But let's look after ourselves a little better. Let's be more aware of our own stuff before we start trying to fix everybody else. The was because there was a truck that was beside me that was just about to turn into the side of my Jeep. Luckily, he didn't. This is DearMamaSal saying, have a great day. I'm going to get over that. Bye-bye for now.